Hey guys, welcome back. So today's going to be a PS3 pickup. I've got 10 games to show you today that I picked up recently, and I also picked up the console, got PS3 Slim, as you can see over there. And 2022 is the year that I begin to rebuild my PlayStation 3 collection. So if you don't know why I'm starting from scratch, please check out my channel. There are videos that explain what has happened with my collecting in the past. But today we're focusing on one of my favourite consoles of all time, the PS3. And as I say, I've got 10 games to show you. So I've started off by buying a few games that are going to be really obvious to people who've been watching my channel for a long time. Games I absolutely adore on the system. And I've picked up a couple of games I've never played before as well. And there will be more videos coming this year. Of course, as and when I pick up more PS3 games, I will be doing pickups. And I've got a lot of games I want to get. There's a lot of games that are essential, that I've played a lot and I want to re-experience and have in my collection. But there's also quite a lot of games I've never gotten hold of. Games like Split Second, Little Big Planet Karting, Blur, and one that really surprised me today, I was watching a video, I can't remember what the name of the channel is. It's a channel that Radical Reggie takes part in, and they were talking about underrated PS3 games. And Radical Reggie recommended the Rambo game, which I completely dismissed because I thought it looked terrible. But when they were showing the gameplay, I thought actually it's like an on-rails sort of experience. Actually it looks pretty good, so I'm actually going to give that a try if I can find a copy in the wild. Because I'm mostly just getting these off CEX, because to be honest, it's cheaper to just go to CEX and get these. And because they're Blu-ray discs, 99% of the time they aren't scratched, they're always in really nice condition. So I think that's down to the special coating on the discs. Beside the point. So yes, I've got 10 games to show you, and let's just get stuck in. That's the important thing, isn't it? But this is a good year to buy PS3 because the prices are very low at the moment. So the first game will be no surprise to anyone, and it is Uncharted 2. I couldn't get 1 and 3 because unfortunately they weren't in good enough condition, so I will get those another time. Plus I think number 1 they had like 1 or maybe 2 copies, they didn't have a lot. But yeah, Uncharted 2 Among Thieves, all these are complete by the way, in excellent condition. And yeah, it's still one of the greatest games ever released, definitely one of the best games, if not close to being the best game on the PS3 in my opinion, at least the best exclusive anyway. Last of Us is fantastic, but Uncharted 2 is more my style. And I've been playing it again recently. I haven't played it for a couple of years because I've played the Uncharted games so many times now. All of them. I've just really recently completed my second playthrough of Lost Legacy again a couple of weeks ago. And I put number 2 in the other night just to test the PS3, to make, just test the PS3. And I started playing it and I got sucked in again and I was like, this is why I love this game. The storyline and the characters are so brilliant. And the action is just great. It really does age well. The gunplay still feels really fresh. The graphics, I'll be honest, some good, some bad. Well, not bad, but average. I'd say like the first bit in Borneo, it looks a little bit, you can see it's dated, it looks a little bit muddy. But still, nonetheless, I can get a PS4 version if I want to get a really shiny version of it. But it's still nice and it's still got that nostalgia attached to it. But when you get to, I think it's Nepal, isn't it, where you get the Marco Polo and all that. That looks absolutely incredible, just as good. I remember playing the demo of that back in the day and being blown away, and it still looks really, really impressive. So yeah, that game's aging nice. This generation I think is going to age exceptionally well. It's going to be a good one to keep going back to. So the next game I've got is one of 2 games I need to get. Well, no, actually one of 3 games, but this is 2 of them that are tied together. The other one I couldn't get because it wasn't in good enough condition. Anyway, I've got Medal of Honor Warfighter. My favourite out of the 2, out of this and Tier 1. I will get Tier 1 when I can find a good copy. I absolutely love Warfighter. I've played it again like Uncharted. I played Uncharted 2 somewhere around about 13, 14, 15 times, something like that, all the way through without cutting any of the cutscenes out, without skipping. I adore that game so much. Medal of Honor is around the same. It might even be closer to 20 at this point. I always play Warfighter and Tier 1. When I've got nothing to play and I'm stuck, those are usually the games I go for because they're short. I don't know if they're 6 or 8 hours, but they're quite short experiences. So I can just burn through them in a couple of days and have some fun with them. But I love Warfighter. The graphics are fantastic. The gameplay is solid. The story is really good. But the important thing is Tier 1 was really good at setting up the characters. Warfighter is an absolutely outstanding emotional story. They do such a great job of really fleshing these characters out and giving them backstory and really getting you to care about the characters. And you know, I've always said the end of the game just makes me tear up every time. It really gets me. It hits hard. It's a brilliant game. And as a first-person shooter, it is one you should definitely play and not overlook. Next I've got another game in the series, which I couldn't get the second one. I didn't have it in stock unfortunately, but I will keep looking for it. And that's Infamous. So open world superhero game. I played this back in the day. I couldn't get anywhere, I got stuck and it annoyed the hell out of me and I put it to one side. I came back to it a while after that and it just clicked back into place. It's funny because that does happen with certain games. I just can't get on with them, and then I'll come back to them weeks, months, years later, and it'll just make sense. And that's what happened with Infamous. I remember sitting down and playing it, and it all clicked into place, and I was like, right, now I get it. And I managed to finish the game. It's quite hard as well. I remember struggling with quite a bit of it, and especially I think there's a big boss at the end. It's been a long time since I played this, and that was a bit of a pain in the arse. But it was a really good game. But for me, Infamous 2 is the best one. I absolutely love that game. I think it was set in New Orleans from what I can remember, and it was really bright and colourful, and it was just an absolutely excellent experience. I will definitely get that. I want to get Prototype and Prototype 2 because apparently they're similar to Infamous. I've never played those games, so I definitely want to try those ones. And I still need to play. Well, I did try and I started Second Son when it came out on PS4, and again, like Infamous 1, I got stuck and got annoyed by it very quickly. So I need to get that back and try and play it again because I'll probably get into it. And is it Dying Light? Or is that a different game? That's a zombie game, isn't it? It's something like, I don't know, that Neon one, the other version they put on the PS4. I'll get into them eventually. Next one I picked up is a game that I probably won't play again, but I wanted it in the collection for nostalgia. And who knows, maybe one day I will push myself to give it another playthrough. It just doesn't feel right. Heavy Rain, fantastic game, incredible story, really so interesting and different with the gameplay, and it just completely sucked me in. I've talked about it many times, but I absolutely adore that game. I had a fantastic time when I first got it. I sat down on this Saturday afternoon and right into the middle of Saturday evening, I was still playing the game. I just couldn't put it down. And eventually I had to just walk away, go and get some food and take a break. And also I didn't want to finish the game too quickly as well. But I had such a good time with it. And the reason I don't want to play it again is because I got my ending. And there's about 12 different endings apparently. And I feel like I should go back and see if I can save the people I killed. But it just always feels like I'm content with what I got from the game. And it was fantastic. Next up is my favourite Grand Theft Auto, GTA 4. I love this game to bits. The characters in this and the story, I know it's more gritty and that's put some people off. They prefer the more light-hearted GTA, but I love Nico Bellic as a character. I thought he was brilliant. His cousin Roman and his girlfriend and Brucey and the Irish guys, and you know, there's just so much going on in this game. It's absolutely brilliant. It's got a phenomenal story. The gameplay is excellent. The cars are weird and they take a bit of adjusting to, but I really liked them back in the day because it felt to me like you were driving a real car, like you were using clutch and accelerator. It was brake and accelerator, it's American, but it felt like you're trying to get that foot balance on the triggers. And I don't know how they managed to achieve that with the analog, but it was really, really cool. And just the world and the environment, it just looks so nice. I wish they would remaster it. I know they remastered, I think it was number 3, Vice City and San Andreas, and I saw those, I watched some videos. Didn't look like much of an upgrade, and especially considering GTA 3 is PS2 era. That should have been done properly and made it look a lot nicer. In fact, all 3 of my PS2 era, what am I talking about? That would make more sense. But it's a shame. I'd love to see number 4 done. As long as they don't change the controls, because I'm sure people would want them to give it proper car controls, like make it easier to get into. But I like the quirkiness and the difference of that game and how they did it. And as I say, Nico, again, it's a game I've played many times through. Haven't played it for several years now, so I need to go back and play through it again. But I like open world games like that, or Mafia, where I can just, you know, it takes a long time to get through them, but I can spend a couple of days just enjoying the environment and the world. I just really, really enjoy open world games. You know, Sleeping Dogs is another one, massively underrated game that I never see people talk about, and one that people should absolutely play and talk about more because it's an incredible game. Next up is a game that I've played when it came out. I got what I believe was very close to the end. I did play a lot of this game and I got stuck and I never went back to it. And it's from a series I've always wanted to get into but never could. But this one I really enjoyed, and it's Bioshock Infinite. So I've played the original Bioshock, only the demo on the 360, and I've never been able to complete the demo. I always get stuck in a room and I'm just going around in circles, don't know what I'm doing, very frustrating. So I've never played Bioshock 2. And when Infinite came out, I really liked what I saw. I think it was at E3 where first, it probably was. I remember seeing the gameplay, and it was just so impressive graphically, and the characters. It looked really, really interesting, like a big, bright world. So I think that's going to age well as well because it's bright and colourful, not dark and dingy like some of the military shooters. But I'm very much looking forward to trying it again. I'm going to sit down next after I finish the game I'm currently playing, which I'll talk to you about in a minute. And yeah, I'm going to try and beat Bioshock Infinite, hopefully. Next up, I love my first-person shooters, so I had to get these. We've got Battlefield 3, and of course we have Battlefield 4. Very simple, short games, really fun. I think number 4 holds up better graphically. Number 3's aged quite a lot, but still looks nice enough. They're quite challenging as well in places, and they're not exactly an easy game to run through. But I really enjoy the Battlefield games. I like the way they look. The story doesn't matter. I know in number 4 they got the late Michael K. Williams in there, RIP. Real shame. I love that guy. Such a great actor. Such a tragedy. But yeah, it always is a bit weird for me when I play video games and they use the actor's face. I don't mind if the actor's doing the voice and acting the scene out, but I don't like seeing the actor's face. It's just really, it pulls me out of the experience. But yeah, I've really enjoyed all of them. Both of those, sorry. Number 4 in particular, unfortunately, has a bug. So you have to rescue a Chinese diplomat, I think he is, or something. And you have to get into a helicopter. And when you get into the helicopter, if you get killed, the game reloads that scene, but you get a black screen on the PS3, and it's just audio, and you can't play the game, so you have to restart from the checkpoint, which is way back, or restart the level. Kind of frustrating, so you have to make sure you stay alive. I've gotten better over the years at playing it, so I tend to be able to do it without dying. But Battlefield 4 is really cool. It is on PS4 as well, I just don't see the point really, because the PS3 version looks fine. It's one of them cross-platforms. Next to the 2 games I haven't played, one I hadn't played this before I bought it, but I've since played it before making this video. And I put up a little mini review on my channel if you want to check it out. And it's only 6 minutes, so it is a mini review. And that game is called Rogue Warrior. I'd never heard of this. I've seen that cover before, I recognised it. I just didn't know, it never really registered with me. I've never seen anybody talk about it on YouTube, which is bizarre in all the time I've been on here. No one's ever talked about this game. But it's really interesting. If you play Quantum of Solace on PS3, you'll know how this plays. It's first person to walk around, and then you go into cover and it's third person, and then you lean and peek and shoot people. And it's a lot like Kill Switch on PS2. It's a really fun game. It's very basic and simple. You don't need to put a lot of thought into it. It's literally just going room to room shooting people, and occasionally you have an objective like planting some bombs or some C4, and then you just have to get from the beginning of the level to the end of the level. It's not hard. It's very short, very sweet, and a really fun experience. And graphically, it's quite nice as well. It's a very early game on the PS3, so it has a bit of an issue with some of the frame rate. And I think that, if I remember rightly, there might have been some tearing as well, but it's just because it's an early game and they're trying to work out how to use the PS3. But yeah, it's nice. It's got like a nice, colourful, almost cartoony look to it, and I really enjoyed it. I'm really surprised that people don't talk about that game. So I'll definitely recommend. I think it was £3.50. I think off the top of my head, I'm not sure, from CEX. So it's not an expensive game. I'd absolutely recommend it. It's on 360 as well for anyone who's got 360. Last game I got is a game that Alex Blutonic78 has been telling me about for years, how good it is, and I keep saying no, I'm not going to play it. And now I finally bought a copy because we were talking about it recently. He sent me his original video that he made about 10 years ago, and I watched that and I thought, yeah, okay, I'm going to give this a try. And it is Turning Point: Fall of Liberty. World War II first-person shooter. By the way, how cool. Look at that artwork. How nice is that artwork? Absolutely brilliant. The cityscape, the planes, the rifle. Very cool. So I started playing it the other day. I'm still playing it right now. And the idea of the game is that basically in real life, Winston Churchill got run down in New York just before the war. He managed to heal and then obviously went on to help us win the war against the Nazis. So the game surmises what would have happened if Winston Churchill would have been killed in New York, and then the Nazis actually win the war and take over. It's a really interesting concept, and I always like these alternate universe ideas where the Nazis win and what would have happened. You know, the Man in the High Castle TV show did that same thing where the Nazis and the Japanese split San Francisco between them. That was really cool. So yeah, I found the concept really interesting. It's so far the game's pretty good. The graphics aren't as bad as I thought. It's a very early game again. Graphics are very cartoony again, so I think that helps to make it look pretty decent. It's a fun one. It's got really nice sound design like all these World War II games. You get a lot of background and atmospherics going on with people shouting and gunfire, and I love all that with World War II games. And the controls aren't too bad. You have to use L2, R2 to aim and shoot, to iron sight, which is a pain in the arse because anyone who loves PlayStation knows that L1, R2 is a better way of iron sighting. But you go with what you got. And also you have to use circle to open doors and to go down up and down ladders, and it's really weird that they use circle as the action button because I'm so used to it being square, but hey, whatever. The only weird thing I've come across so far, there's a bit where there's a tank and you have to go underneath the tank by going down into the sewers. So you go through the manhole, walk through the sewers, you're underneath the tank, and you know on Call of Duty you get those yellow rectangles, and normally you just press square or X is it X on Xbox? I'm trying to think which way around it is. No, it's yeah, it's X in it. It's A, B, X and Y. Yeah, X. Right, okay. And you plant it and then you run away and it blows the tank up. This game went a bit extra and decided to make it a bit more involved to give you some immersion for some reason. So I press circle, he plants the bomb, and you get a picture of a bomb and an explanation as to what to do. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? And so they have 3 wires and 3 connectors on the bomb, and they correspond, the colours of the wires and the connectors correspond to the buttons on your controller. But the button, the colour of the wires and the connectors aren't that great, and one of them looked purple. And I'm like, I ain't got a purple button, which one is it? So you have to say you've got the blue one, which is X. So you hold down X, the blue wire goes up to the blue connector, and then you use the left analog stick and rotate clockwise, if I remember correctly, and that tightens the wire. And then once it's tightened, you let go, then you do the red one and the green one, and then you press up on the D-pad to ignite the bomb and run for it. Really convoluted when you can just press square and drop it and run. But I don't know, I kind of admire the fact that they tried to make it a little bit more immersive at the time. Whereas nowadays, you just like COD and everything, you just run in, drop the bomb and leg it. But it's still pretty cool, pretty interesting. I'll see how I get on with it. I mean, I'm getting into it so far. I'm enjoying the gunplay. The aiming isn't as bad as I thought, although it's a little rough because I took off the aim assist, which I absolutely hate aim assist. I never see the point of playing games with that because it just defeats the object. But on this game, you need to have it on because it does make it a lot easier to shoot people. And the grenades work really well. Yeah, really good so far. So thank you, Alex, first of all, for constantly pushing me to try this game out. It's very cheap. I think I got it for like £4 on eBay because I haven't been anywhere near a CEX, so I just thought I'd just go on and buy it. In fact, no, I did actually check online and they hadn't got a copy of either of the 2 CEXs by me. So that's why I went onto eBay in the end. I just gave up and bought one. But yeah, I'll let you know what I think when I finished it. So there you go, guys. That's the first 10 for my PS3 collection. As I say, 2022 is the year I'm going to start to rebuild this collection, and you'll see them stack up back there. And every time I do new pickup videos, I will post them on my channel. So obviously, if you're new to my channel, you've just found me, subscribe to the channel and you'll get to see more videos. And for everybody else, thank you for sticking with my channel, guys, and thank you as well for all the nice comments on my recent video that I posted about what's been going on with me and my life, and my collecting. So thanks for watching, guys. I look forward to reading your comments as always down below, and I'll see you in the next video.